The woman warrior, Agbala's stand. In the heart of a small African village, nestled between towering baobabs and lush fields, fear had long been the villager's unwelcome companion. For years, invaders and land grabbers descended upon them, taking what they pleased and leaving ruin behind. The men, once the protectors, had been driven away or slain in battle, leaving the women, children, and elders vulnerable. Agbala, the 20-year-old daughter of a humble peasant farmer, had watched this happen over and over. Her father, broken and tired, once said to her, "It is not our fate to fight, Agbala. We till the land, we live in peace, but war is for others." But Agbala refused to accept this. Peace would never return if no one stood to defend it. One night, as the villagers sat in mourning after yet another raid, Agbala stood before the elders. The firelight flickered across her determined face, casting shadows that made her look older, stronger. "We cannot wait for someone else to save us," she said, her voice steady, though her heart pounded in her chest. "Our fathers, our brothers, they are gone. And yet, we live. We cannot run from what is coming any longer." An elder, Ozioma, shook his head. "You speak bravely, child, but we are not warriors. What can you do against them? You, a farmer's daughter." Agbala's dark eyes flashed. "I am more than a farmer's daughter. I have watched how they fight, and I have learned. I know the land, I know its secrets, and I will use them. If no one else will fight for us, I will." The women and children stared at her, hope flickering in their eyes for the first time in years. Ozioma sighed deeply, but another elder, Mama Udu, placed her hand on Agbala's shoulder. "She has her mother's spirit," Mama Udu said softly, her voice filled with pride. "Perhaps the spirits have chosen her." The next morning, Agbala prepared. From her late mother's chest, she pulled out an ancient set of warriors' regalia, a breastplate of polished iron, inscribed with symbols of protection and adorned with cowrie shells, a talisman of her ancestors' strength. She bound her wrists in leather and strapped a spear, carved with intricate markings, to her back. Standing at the village gate, alone, she waited. As the sun climbed high, the sound of drums echoed in the distance. The invaders were coming. Soon the dust from their horses filled the air as they approached. Their leader, a towering man with a scar that cut across his face, sneered when he saw Agbala standing alone. "Step aside, girl," he spat, "or you will die like the others." Agbala planted her feet, raising her shield. "If you want our land, you will have to take it through me." The invader laughed, but it was cut short as Agbala moved like lightning. With the agility of a lioness, she threw her spear, striking down one of his men before they could react. The invaders charged at her, but she dodged, her shield deflecting their blows as her spear cut through the air with deadly precision. The battle raged. Agbala fought like one possessed, her ancestors guiding her hands, her movements swift as the wind, and her strikes as powerful as the raging river. She was untouchable. Then the leader of the invaders charged, thinking her weak from exhaustion. "I will crush you," he roared, but Agbala was ready. As he swung his sword, she dropped low, sweeping his feet from beneath him. He crashed to the ground, and in an instant, Agbala was above him. Her spear pointed at his throat. "Leave now," she said, her voice steady and cold, "or none of you will return to tell the tale." The man's eyes widened in shock, and with a nod, he called for retreat. The invaders fled, their arrogance shattered by a single young woman. As the dust settled and the villagers cautiously emerged from their huts, Agbala stood alone, her chest rising and falling with the weight of victory. For a moment there was only silence. Then a child's voice broke through. "She has saved us." A cheer rose from the villagers. They rushed to her, surrounding her with awe and gratitude. Mama Udu embraced her, tears in her eyes. "You are no longer just Agbala, daughter of a farmer," Mama Udu said, her voice thick with emotion. "You are the warrior of this land." Agbala looked over the faces of her people, her heart swelling with pride and relief. But deep inside, she knew the battle was far from over. As long as there were those who sought to take from them, she would stand ready. For she was no longer just a daughter of the land, she was its protector, the woman warrior.